It's not yet 100% certain whether this is going to happen. Where do these reports come from?
Well, these reports have come out of a Chinese state newspaper, and even though we've heard rumours about this for quite a few months now, this is really the first time where an official source has come out about this. They're citing a draft civil code that they've supposedly cited. Now, the key thing here is that this code omits any reference to family planning being the operative words for restrictions on how many children a Chinese family or individual can have. Previously, it was 1, and then they moved that number to 2. But there is still a little bit of a time here. This draft code is really not due to be voted upon until 2020. So there is still a little bit of time for the Chinese authorities to actually come out to specify what actually will be happening.
Let's look at the sort of wider historical context of all this. We know that, China until 2015 had a one-child policy, then the two-child policy. Could this be the end of all child policies in China?
Well, certainly it could be if this civil code is anything to go by, this draft code. And it's very interesting, though, to look at why China first removed the one-child policy, made it the two-child policy. The one-child policy came into effect in the 1970s. As you say, in late 2015, early 2016, that was amended to the two-child policy because it has, even though it's the most populous nation on earth, it has an ageing population, which for long-term economic growth is a bad thing. Of course, you need a young workforce, you need capital contributions, so on and so forth. And the Chinese were finding that they were really in a bind when it comes to these sorts of issues. However, removing the one-child policy and then increasing that number to 2 hasn't really worked out the way they thought. The number of people having children was half of what they expected. There was not the baby boom they thought they would be having. So perhaps removing any kind of restrictions in general, they're hoping that this will be a lot more beneficial. There's also talk perhaps of economic incentives for families to have children.